when I worked for Michael, there was this Cuba trip that was being put on by a Cuba chef was attached to it, and like it was promoting like fine dining in Cuba and 6 days on the island and esto y lo otro and all this like really like outlandish shit, and the price tag was like $2,500, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, I mean, this is a long time ago now. That's probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like pretty irate, right? And I'm like, I mean, these people have no fucking food. Like, what kind of food are you going there to eat? $2,500. Like, how are you making money on this like starving country? And then going to show people like food in a country that doesn't have any fucking food. And then like, why are you showing off a country that's still openly communist and like really like doing what they do to our people? And I said that to an extent. Obviously, Twitter had less characters before than it has now.
Yeah, I forget how many, but yeah.
And you know, I had some tweets about it or whatever. I thought nothing of it. You know, I just like I said what I said, and I mean I would say it again. And then I don't remember which writer got their hands on my tweet, a couple other people's like Facebook comments, and some other stuff. And like, you know, at that time I was just sous chef for Schwartz, and they printed the shit that I said in the Herald.
Yeah.
Mine was like a small like line, and then those other guys that obviously had a bigger reputation, and you know there was more, and there was like actual like interview stuff with them and comments from them or whatever. So then Schwartz got like, you know, got wind of it, so he asked me to meet me in his office, and like this was year one working for him, and we had like Schwartz and I have had and still have a great relationship. I have an immense amount of respect for him, and you know, like we're still very tight. And he just told me, he was like, well, you know, like this is a little problematic, right? And I'm like, well, but why? And he was like, well, you know, just like we had just opened up this restaurant, maybe this brings like negative press or whatever. And I said, you know, listen, I get what you're saying, but I won't not say shit. You know, it's just not part of like who I am. And as much as I respect you and I love my job, and like I did love my job very much, and as much as I love my job and as much as I respect you, like this subject specifically, and a lot of others as time has passed, but this subject specifically, no one will ever like tell me not to say shit. You know, if there's anything that like this world has afforded us, it's an opportunity to say things, right? Because that's the whole reason why like our whole like country came here, mm-hmm. right? Like why our families fled, so they could say shit. You know?
Sure, yeah.
That's putting it in very like simple terms, but
yeah,
that's pretty much why, right? And he was like, you know, I guess, and I don't remember the conversation verbatim, and he was like, you know, like I respect that, you know, it's just like maybe, and he was like, I support you, like just maybe when you do something like that, just like run it by me. I'm not telling you not to do it, but just so like I don't get like an email like your sous chef said X, Y, and Z, you know. And I was like, that's cool. And he was like, you know, if you want to say things, you say things, you know, like just, you know, like think about like if there could be repercussions, and not from me, just like from the world. And I said, fuck it. I mean, that's the way shit works, you know.
Right.
You know, I gained a lot of respect for him that day. I think for him even having that conversation with me, I learned a lot about like being a boss, and like I'm not going to say that was like minutia, but I think compared to his job and like the shit that he has like on his desk that he has to deal with every day, that's like really small minutia, you know. And I learned a lot in that process too. Like, you know, people aren't always listening, but they may. And if you have the opportunity to at least just get them to hear like one thing, and we've said this so many fucking times on our podcast, right? Like, right, yeah. If we could touch one person and it makes a difference in one person, and then they tell 2 more people, and then those people tell 4 more people, and those 4 people tell 6 people, like maybe we can actually make a difference in something that really, and what we talked about, like this issue that we're not going to talk about at length here, which is Cuba. Like,
but it applies to other things.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe we can make a difference, you know? And I do think the work that we've done on Pancon Podcast, and albeit like we're not quite Rogan, but
Not since he took all our Spotify.
He took all of our Spotify money. You know, I think it has made a difference, and I think it has held a lot of people accountable within the industry, outside the industry. At least, like, for me, people don't ever come to me with bullshit, ever. Like, they're never going to bring bad deals to me. They're never going to, like, they know if people are, like, close to the family or whatever, they know that we're going to do our best to, like, support our people and make sure we keep them away from bad deals and help them work through their deals and be like a real support system for them. And that's all because we've said and we will say the shit that we always say.